but I need to, yes, and I know specifically where to hook the vacuum gauge up to check and see if there's a vacuum leak. Yeah, it's over here on the best place to hook it up is on that side of the Plymouth. There's a hose you disconnect right there, hook it up, and then hook up the vacuum and start the vehicle. Hook up the gauge and start the vehicle. Okay, release. Yeah, I think we're fine there. Yeah, because with the questionable back tire, I'm not going to feel like getting this on the freeway. Yep, right there. Oh yeah. Yep, I have. Their drive-through is configured for Dixon. So when I was driving it all the time as my primary car, a number of times I pulled in their drive-through and had no problem. And had no problem at all. I don't feel comfortable going down through there tonight, so... Well, maybe on the way back, we'll check things, and maybe on the way back I might do it. That would, yeah, if you're going to go to Maverick, yeah, we'll go through that way on the way back. We will go there on the way back, we'll just have to watch things. I've got the box here if I need it, so that will inflate it, yep, that will inflate it. Yeah, but we're going to wait till we get up to the 50-mile-an-hour zone, which is not too far from here. So, I'll go ahead and set it there. Go ahead and set it there. And we'll set it, should set it right now. There we go. No, Amtrak doesn't come through here yet. We got quite a ways. They're not even into Sandpoint yet. Done this way, they're not even at Sandpoint yet. They're on schedule. They got another 35 to 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes maybe, before they even get to Sandpoint. Usually about 10:30. Yeah, usually they pull in there about 10:30, and then it's about 2 hours between Sandpoint and here by rail. About 2 hours. Let's do this so that we can nail that going on you. Yep. That feels good. Yep. Yeah, so you'll need to, yeah. And they're associated with Al-Qaeda. Yeah, so we do actually. So right up here, yeah, I'll show you the news articles on Crypt 2 News actually. Yeah, they are associated with Al-Qaeda. Oh, they're going to get shot. I won't, no. Not going to happen. You've got to remember, in this area, people, everyday people are armed and ready to shoot you. And yes, I will do that. And yes, I will do that.